Teaming is going to allow you to access bigger contracts, right? So even if you've had some government contracts and you're like, yeah, no, but I have some past performance, it's just not big enough, right? Teaming can help you access some of those bigger contracts.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another video with SAS GPS. Sarah is here with us again. And today we're going to be talking about strategic teaming up, what it is, how to do it right, and how we can help you, as a small business, have your team win by teaming up with bigger companies. Hi, Sarah. Good to see you again.
Thank you. It's great to be here again, Yoel.
Yeah. All right, Sarah. So, we talk about this a lot. There's a lot of videos on YouTube. There's a lot of blogs out there that talk about strategic teaming up and what it is. But just for your own, for like our own process here and our own edification, what are some what is basically teaming up for winning? Like, what does that look like?
Okay, so I think this is maybe the number one thing that I tell people when they call. And I take a lot of phone calls and they say, I want to do this. And I'm like, oh, you don't have the past performance, right? So breaking into government contracting can be like a catch-22. They're like, do you want to do this project? We have to have 3 projects of a similar size and scope before you can do this one. And they're all like that. So like, how do you get 3 projects of similar size and scope if you have to have 3 projects to get one, right? Like sometimes the logic of it is really sort of heartbreaking. But teaming is probably the most tried and true way to actually start getting your past performance, because you can use your subcontracting or your teaming past performance as your past performance, like in all of these contracts or most of these contracts. So breaking into government contract can feel like pushing a boulder uphill, right? When you're missing that past performance, but you don't have to do it alone. So teaming with established contractors unlocks doors that you might never be able to open as a solo contractor. So I think that today we're here really to talk about strategic teaming, what it is, how to do it right, and how we can help you and how we help other small businesses like yours to team up to win, even if it's just by making this video. So.
Yep, absolutely. And so how does, obviously you've talked about it a little bit more. So obviously teaming can help you access bigger contracts, build credibility. But there's 2 more things that you shared with me that teaming up can do for somebody, right? What are those 2?
So teaming is going to allow you to access bigger contracts, right? So even if you've had some government contracts and you're like, yeah, no, but I have some past performance, it's just not big enough, right? Teaming can help you access some of those bigger contracts. It builds credibility. It helps meet, sometimes like if you have set asides and things like that, agencies will have socioeconomic goals that you could be helping to meet by teaming. And teaming shares the workload and the risk. You also, have to deal with another company, so hopefully you team up smart and you team up well, but it's worth it. So basically it's kind of like, can be almost like a fast track into the federal ecosystem if you know how to do it right.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%, right? And we have this statement here that says strategic partnership, strategic wins, right? So walk us through, like, how do you actually put strategy behind teaming up for your partners?
So teaming shouldn't be random. Maybe you get lucky and you're having a beer next to a guy at a bar and it turns out to be somebody you could team with, right? But a good teaming partner probably is somebody that you've researched. They bring good past performance, what you're looking for, relationships with the agency, and the capacity to deliver what you can't, right? So they're looking at what you have to offer and you're looking at what they have to offer. So if you're smaller and you don't have that past performance and stuff, maybe you have some specific certifications that they need or a technical specialty, right? That's why I always tell people, instead of going like broad, I could do a little of this, a little of that, a little of this, right? Go niche and go hard, because then somebody's going to need you, right? And that's good for teaming. And then you can go broad, right? When you start getting a little bit more of a vertical in one particular area, then you can start going horizontal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, 100%. And we actually have a whole, area of the company that does this, right? So this is where like FedStarter comes into place, right? So like talk us through about what is SAS GPS's FedStarter product look like?
Yeah, so we help connect small businesses with established prime contractors, especially prime contractors that might be needing HubZone 8A, SDVOSB, WSB partners, or you're one of those niches, right? And like you only do really small GIS, or you only do elevator maintenance, right? There's people that need your services, and so we kind of, a lot of times we introduce people with this sort of matchmaking, but we also do the research, look at the contracts that you would like to be a part of, like what contracts have your niche in them and who's winning them, who's bidding on them, right? Like maybe especially who's bidding on them, not who's winning on them, right? Who's bidding and not winning. Maybe they need you, and then you start basically reaching out to them, and we help people build their sort of whole playbook of all the different ways to reach out, and in some cases we also reach out for them. Yeah.
No, that's great. And then we have another product, right? That's similar to that, but from the other side, which is called FedTeam, right? So do you want to explain kind of what that does?
Um, so it's also a partner discovery tool. It's like if you're looking for it's basically like the opposite, right? It's like you're big and you're looking, hey, I do need an elevator maintenance people, or I do need, I'm really starting to want to get into, doing cemetery, VA cemetery, grounds labor, right? So you're going to need somebody with a veteran or a service disabled veteran certification probably, and experience in that particular area, because that's like a
Right.
real niche. Like you could be like, yeah, I do like maintenance and landscaping all the time, but those cemeteries are very specific, and if you don't have cemetery experience, like, so that's just an example, but we help find those like sort of more niche, and smaller companies, that like we help connect people together, right?
Yep. No, 100%. That's awesome. And obviously, like, like you put it, we've set this in the marketing side, right? That LinkedIn meets GovWin is kind of what the FedTeam product does, right? Um,
Kind of. Like, and it's like, yes, but not with like, maybe I don't want to like tell anybody that I'm going to be running some giant social media platform, because I'm not. I'm using research tools, like our own contacts, the people that we work with, the people that they work with, right? Somebody once told me when I first started in business development, like, and you'll know how old I am when I say this, but like, you should have a Rolodex. And that
mhm.
Rolodex, right, is your key to success. You should have somebody who can do anything that ever might pop up that you need, ever, and keep it in your Rolodex. I don't know if anybody remembers the spinning Rolodexes. Now we're like, keep
We'll
it in
put
your
we'll
phone,
put
right?
a we'll put a little Rolodex flying through the screen here at this point, so people can remember what it looks like. But yeah, no,
1989. Um,
yeah, yeah.
but
And speaking of that, right? Like, I think, like, like leads kind of into the next point, which is like proposal development is everything, right?
yeah. Well, yeah, it doesn't matter how great your team is. If your proposal is terrible, you're not going to win. So teaming only matters if you win that one, because you're not going to get all that teaming effort, isn't for anything if you don't win. So that's why our team really supports that full proposal cycle, from strategy, compliance, writing, submission. Proposals are what we excel. I mean, we are like, we love proposals. We love them. We eat, sleep, and breathe them. So we've helped teams win projects like with GSA, VHA, VA,
Yeah.
DHS, the Army Corps. We've worked, DoD. We've worked with all the big federal agencies. We also do state, and local. And we know what evaluators in each one of those areas kind of wants to see. Like the Army Corps kind of likes different things than the Department of Defense per se. Or
Right.
so like we just have that deep experience that allows us to not just write a compliant proposal, but a compelling proposal to not just the solicitation, but to that specific agency as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think there's a couple of things that people forget on like the importance of how pricing it is, right? But you made a note here that says don't forget to price to win. So, like, again, our constant reminder, but go for it.
Yeah. So when you're teaming, right, then pricing becomes a little more tricky, because you're not in charge of all the pricing. You have to get that pricing from those subcontractors, or if you're a subcontractor, you have to give your pricing to the prime, and then they've got their pricing has to win. So I always say, don't forget to price to win. And you may, if you're the subcontractor, you may not be able to see you may not have transparency on that greater bid. A lot of times, some of those primes also are asking multiple subcontractors, like, hey, price this out for us. Let us know, once you're kind of in there, they have a Rolodex of subcontractors that can meet this requirement. Let's just go with, like, again, elevator maintenance. They got 3 elevator maintenance companies. They contact all 3 of them, and they say, hey, we've already vetted you. Basically, we know your past performance. We know you could probably do this job. Or do you have availability, and how much are you going to charge us? So you have this, like, it's always about price, even if you are not the one submitting the pricing proposal. So being competitive, without undercutting your value, right? So benchmark labor rates, indirects, past awards, find your sweet spot, stay in the game.
Yep, absolutely. And then lastly, like, what are some common teaming mistakes that you've seen, across
Ooh,
like this
pitfalls.
experience that you guys? Yeah.
Teaming with somebody who cannot perform. Like, so you got to vet these people, right? Like, you have to vet them. Like, some people talk a big talk, but you like say, like, show me what you've done, right? Failing to define the roles that each side of that team is going to perform in advance. So then you get to the contract, and then the contract goes terribly wrong because nobody really, I thought you were doing that. I thought you were doing that, right? That wasn't in our price. Like, so now we've got, maybe we might be defaulting on our government contract. You don't want to be on that. Or you're losing money. That's right. So the other one would be probably misaligning pricing strategies, right? And that's probably like one of the most common pitfalls just in general. Like, you really do need to get your pricing down pat. So we can help you avoid those mistakes here at SAS GPS when you work with us. We'll walk people through things. We give clear scopes. We have compliance support and strategic reviews before your proposal ever even goes out. So. And we work with primes and subs as teams all the time. So, sometimes I'm working with 5 or 6 different companies on one project. And sometimes we're in separate meetings. Sometimes we're in giant group meetings. Those are my least favorite. When there's 36 people on a meeting, like, those meetings go long. No, but they're important too, right? So the teams meet the teams and talks about their solutions and things like that. So.
Yep. Absolutely. No, I think that's great. Yeah. And I think, like I said, SAS GPS isn't just a service. We're like a strategy partner for a lot of these brands, right? And we're going to here to help them, build their first team or scale their, their capture efforts, however that may be. But is there anything that you want to leave them with, Sarah, like in regards to like how, we can help them basically grow their business, whether they're a small company or a bigger company trying to get into a different sector?
Yeah. So if you're serious about growing in the federal space, or some of those bigger state spaces, it's time to start teaming, and it's time to seem smart. So as your sort of strategy partner in winning, whether you're building up your first team or you're scaling up your capture efforts, we're here to help you win more, help you win bigger, help you win better. So you can book a consult with us. You're welcome to view our website, explore FedStarter and FedTeam. We do those pretty bespoke and at different levels of service. And then, we're part of your team. We might not be part of your actual paperwork team, but we're part of your team that helps you get the results. So basically, like, comment, subscribe to this video, visit our website, call me, message me, email me, and I will help.
Awesome. All right. Well, guys, if there's anything that you guys need, feel free to leave, any questions or comments in the the comments below. Like I said, we're always here to help. Sarah is always available to talk with anybody who wants to chat. And yeah, hopefully we can help you guys win this 2025 in new contracts or new ventures that you guys are going to attack. All right. Sarah, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. And if there's anything that, yeah, absolutely. All right. I'll talk to you later, Sarah.
Okay.